Hey, it is April 27th, 2024, and this video is about why the NBA is losing ratings. So, some people say it's because of this political stuff. I mean, maybe some of it's got to do with that. Some people are like, oh, we don't like that, so, okay. But it's more than that because, the discourse around NBA basketball is completely toxic on the internet. In the media, it's toxic. Yeah, we're watching the best players in the world compete, and respect should be given to every player who steps on an NBA court for making it to that point. Because there are millions of basketball players in this world, if not billions, and there's only a real small handful that make it to that level. So that's the first thing. But we see so much slander and so much cruelty delivered to players who lose, to fan bases who lose, that it's not a pleasant thing to be a part of if you're just wanting to enjoy yourself, root for your team, and, well, maybe just those two things. So, I've been a Phoenix Suns fan since 1992. I moved to Arizona that year from England. That was the summer they acquired Charles Barkley. And the whole town was mad about the team. And so I became mad about the team, and I used to listen to Al McCoy, Taunton Fitzsimmons on the radio, calling the games, because we didn't have Channel 45 broadcast. I think some of the channels, we didn't pick that one up on our antenna. So I listened on the radio, but I watched when I could the NBC games, and it was amazing. My whole family came together. We watched the NBA Finals together in 93. So Suns lost, came up a little short, and it was real heartbreaking, but I stayed a fan and watched them all throughout the rest of the 90s. Watched the Barkley went to Houston, the Jason Kidd era began. That kind of morphed into the Marbury era. And then we had, of course, the Nash era. And the team, they had a lot of success. They made it to the playoffs pretty much every year during those years. And they never got back to the finals, but they were always in the hunt. And it was always fun to watch, So the Diamondbacks are another home team here. In 2001, I got to watch them win the World Series, and that was cool, man. I hadn't watched baseball until those playoffs. And for me, for whatever reason, it seems like I really only watch sports when our home team here is good. I'm very much a home team supporter. So the NBA has been the sport that I've watched by far the most. And there were a couple years I missed when the Suns were really dismal. The early Devin Booker years when KD was winning championships with Golden State. It felt to me anti-competitive, like a foregone conclusion, and that made it uninteresting. Now it's become interesting again, and not just because the Suns are in the playoffs, but because you don't know who's going to win. There's no clear dynasty that dominates the league right now, so we just got to wait and see. But it doesn't make sense to me to belittle Suns fans because their team is down 3-0 to Minnesota, you know? I mean, obviously we'd like to see them win, and we're feeling sad that they've been losing. The last thing we need is some fucking clowns coming in here talking shit, man. Because they didn't win. They weren't on the fucking court. I don't know what fucking team they've supported all these fucking years. I don't know how many times their team's gotten to the playoffs. You know, maybe they're... But whatever fucking team they are, I can guarantee there's been shitty fucking moments. And there's been embarrassments. And there's been humiliations. And there's been fucking shitty fucking days, you know? And sportsmanship used to be a thing where compassion was shown for the losers, where the winners could celebrate their victory and they could feel good about themselves and their fans could feel good and they could be congratulated by the losers. But at the same time, the losers could be left alone to mourn and to recover and to rebuild and to try to put together a team that can now face the winners the next year and dethrone them. So, basketball, I think, is as great as any sport on this planet. All you need is a hoop and a ball. You don't even need anyone to play with, man. You just go out there and shoot hoops and practice on your own. Doesn't cost any money once you get that basic equipment set up, which means it's real accessible to people all over this planet, man. And it's become a global game. It's become a game where we got players from Africa. We got players from Europe. We got players from Asia. We got players from the Americas. And we got a bunch of different racial backgrounds. We got a bunch of different political ideas, religions, cultures, languages, nationalities, and yet we can come together on this court and we can compete and we can watch the best players in the world compete. Right now, Anthony Edwards and Booker and Durant, they're on different sides of the court. This summer, they'll be on the same side of the court as U.S. basketball seeks to defend its Olympic gold medal. There's a lot of tough competition out there, and I look forward to watching that. But I don't know, man. It's kind of sickening to see people stoop to the depths that they do on the internet, man. Yeah. Your team winning or losing ultimately shouldn't have a massive impact on your life. You can feel sad, you can feel happy, but at the end of the day, it's just a basketball game. And you're not even the guy on the court, so it's really not even about you. And if you are a guy on the court, there's a lot that's beyond your control, man. You can't, not everyone's got the same teammates. There's injuries, there's bad calls by the officials, and there's simply bad luck where a shot that normally goes in doesn't go in, where a shot hits at the buzzer or was released a second too late, and it was just luck more than anything that determined the outcome of that particular game. All of that should be acknowledged when people are claiming or celebrating victory, and also when people are suffering defeat. So anyway, wanted to put that on here. I'm going to go watch the Lakers, who are down 3-0 against the Nuggets. I'm going to watch a guy who I think is possibly the greatest player of all time in LeBron James. See if he can win a game, you know. So I have this feeling like maybe he can, but feelings don't tend to win me money. So I'm not going to bet anything on the game that I'm not willing to lose. With that, you guys have a good one.